Hi, my name is Josie, and I'm currently between two drafts of my writing project. I'm writing this mountaineering thriller novel, and I completed the rough draft of it in early December. And in a few weeks, I'm hoping to start the first round of revisions. So I thought this was a perfect moment to go back to the writing goals I'd set for myself before writing the first draft, and then also set some new ones for the revision process. So first, we're gonna revisit this video from 2 months ago now, and we'll see how well I was at accomplishing these goals. My first writing goal is to finish the draft of this thriller novel that I've been plotting before the end of this year, so before December 31st, 2024. And I'm feeling really good about this because I'm planning on doing the 50K in November 30-day challenge, and I've succeeded at this. So not only did I succeed at my 50K in a month, which was in some ways easier and harder than I thought it was going to be, but I also finished my novel before the new year. I finished it, I think, even before December started. It's so bad. It's like been a month and I've already forgotten. The main goal was completed, but I'm a little nervous for the rest of these. Me to my second goal, which is to try to take a bit more time while I'm drafting. So I've been able to be successful in the past with this fast drafting 50K in 30 days. I'm a goal-oriented person. I like challenges. I want to always win in everything. So I can hit the 50,000, but those words aren't necessarily as good as if I took my time. So I think of myself as having two speeds when it comes to drafting. I'm either drafting really, really quickly and just getting words out, mostly dialogue and basic action of what people are doing. And then there's the slower speed, which takes longer to put words down, but the words that I do put down tend to stick around into later drafts. Okay, so with this one, it's a bit more mixed. I think at the start I did a much better job of taking my time, and I think there was one or two instances I didn't put it in my rough draft vlogs during November, but there were a few moments where I found myself speeding through a section, and I just went back just to add a bit more flesh to the story. I think overall, like, the first draft finished at, I think, 76,000 words. I'm imagining with revisions it will go up, but I don't see it going up past like maybe 90,000 max. I mean, who knows, if I decide to add more subplots and stuff, that the word count may balloon, and then I may have to find a way to reduce it later. But for the most part, I stuck really well to my outline. I did a chapter by chapter outline, and not only that, I took the time in a lot of the chapters to really flesh out what I wanted to happen in the scene. The last probably 5 chapters were really slimmed down, but I think those were also just missing a lot of substance to them generally, because I didn't know exactly how I wanted the arc to end. But I give myself a B+, because I was really close to making it all the way to the end, full slow draft, but in those last handful of days of November, it did get really tough. Just because, as well, it's like that context. I didn't want to write stuff that I would have to just delete big swaths of it later. Kind of a subcategory of this is that I really want to make sure that I'm having fun when I'm drafting, because at the end of the day, I'm not making money off of my writing. It's not my job. This is something I do in my spare time because I enjoy it. So in the same vein, even though I love a challenge, I love to win, I need to make sure that I am enjoying the process. I'm not just stressed out about hitting the word. I mean, it's hard to gauge fun. This was a very loose goal that I set for myself. And it's hard to gauge because I enjoyed myself. Like, writing it, the act of writing it, I just love getting words down on page, getting a story out of my head that's been there for so long. And for the most part, I did really enjoy the process. I have numerous videos on this now, so I'm not really going to harp on it too much, but I have had a lot of imposter syndrome pop up because it's a mountaineering book and I don't have a huge background in mountaineering. And I felt like that detracted a little bit because I was constantly like second guessing myself. but the actual character interactions and when I did let myself just have fun with the scene and the characters, I really did enjoy myself. I'm gonna give myself a C on this one. So I didn't fail, but I also didn't do as much as I could have. So I think now we're going into more of the goals surrounding filming because I just started my writing channel when I was prepping for this first draft. So I set some goals around that as well. To my filming goals. When I started making these videos on this channel, I was nervous. I love to start things. I don't always finish them. When I decided that I want to give this channel a go, I told myself that I have to make videos until the new year because there's that initial rush of, oh, this is really exciting, I'm making these videos, but there'll always come a time when things get tougher, when it feels overwhelming because it's so new, because it's not part of your routine. I'm just gonna interrupt her there. I did accomplish that. That was a very concrete goal, post a video a week, and I have done that. I think this will be the first video of the new year, so obviously I'm continuing past the new year. I just had a lot of fun, and I kept thinking, especially when I finished the novel, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna film next. Maybe, I don't know, it's gonna become a chore, I don't wanna do it. But so far, it's still been enjoyable, and so at this point, my plan is to at least go until I'm done the rough draft. So you can expect another handful of months at least of videos. Hopefully every week, though. I'm also finishing my PhD this year in oceanography, so that'll probably take up a lot of time, so I won't guarantee every week, but I'll talk about that more when we get to our revision goals. My second goal for filming is that I want to do 1 or 2 creative videos in November. What I'm imagining is the standard video during drafting will just be a series of clips recapping my writing and how it's going as I go through certain chunks of the book. But there's a lot of really cool and interesting videos you can do while drafting, where you could do like a day in my life writing, or you try and write a ton of words in one day and you just go for it. Maybe like even 10K. I don't know. I've never written that many words in a day, but okay. So I will say I did do a 10K in one day video. I think that was the 5th episode of my Rough Draft Diaries. But that was unintentional. That was just me sitting down, deciding to write for a certain amount of time. And I was getting close enough that I was like, I should just do it. So I don't know if I can really call that what I was trying to do here, because I was really hoping to do more challenge kind of videos, because I really like challenges. I think it pushes me and it motivates me to work really hard on something. This is something where we're gonna push it off because I really just ended up doing those rough draft episodes, not really any of these challenges that I really wanted to do. I'm not actually upset about that because I think I didn't realize how much content I would get from just daily recaps of what I was doing, and I didn't want to try and like skip one of those to do a random challenge video, and also I was just in a flow of drafting. But I do have intentions to do more of those type of videos as I'm doing my revision to kind of spice it up, because it'll be a longer process. Okay, and that seems to be it for my goals. So I had 5 goals, and I did pretty good. I mean, the biggest thing was just finishing the draft, which I did, and I'm proud of myself for, because at least when I was younger, I did that thing that most, teenage child writers do, where you start a bunch of projects and you never finish them. And it was an active choice when I hit my late high school years, where I made myself finish the book projects that I started. And now I don't think I would let myself give up on a story. I mean, maybe, who knows? I'll never say never. But it's really important to me now to see a project completed. And I also feel a lot of confidence when I go into a project now that I can complete it, because I have done a handful of them at this point. But that doesn't ever take away from the fact that writing a story is hard. Getting to the end of a story is hard. But now we get to do the fun part, which is the revision. And I love the revision because I feel like at this point I've done this rough sketch outline on a canvas of what I want this to look like. And now it's all about going in, fine-tuning, putting in the shading, putting in the colors. And I feel so much more lost in the story as I'm doing revision. So 2025 is going to be really busy for me. I am going to be hopefully finishing my PhD this summer, defending sometime in midsummer, mid to late summer. So that's going to take up a lot of time, but as soon as that happens, I don't really know where I'm going to be next. And there's like this huge question mark. There's a lot of things to decide. So I would really like for this revision process to be done before I leave Alaska, before I go on to my next adventure, just to be able to close that. And because even though a first draft, it's easy to say when you're done, revision is almost more of a feeling of I've done everything I can. Now I'm just changing the story. I'm not making it better. And so it'll be a lot easier if in my mind I can just say, I'm done, it's clear, it's over, rather than having these loose strings that I then have to find the motivation for as I'm moving to a new place, as I'm figuring out what my new life looks like. So first goal, finish the revision by, let's say, end of August. So that gives me exactly 8 months to do this. I've had different strategies for revision, and I think that the best way to do this, because there's a lot of things I want to touch on, my second goal will be to not get distracted by having a bunch of things I'm focusing on simultaneously, because I feel like that just starts to overwhelm me. It really slows me down in revision because I'm trying to do like 10 different things all at once, so it takes much longer to get through a chapter. And so it just kind of halts that flow and makes it feel like so much more of a slog. So what I'm going to do is for each revision draft, who knows how many I'll do, maybe I'll do probably 2 to 4. It'll probably end up being maybe 3 rounds of revision. And in each one, I'm going to pick 2 to 4 things that I want to focus on. And these things can be my main character's arc. It can be a follow through with a specific subplot. It can be making sure a specific character's motivation is consistent throughout and you're seeing hints. It could be foreshadowing for a certain event. The first round of revision will probably be these bigger concepts like the main character, focusing on the main character. But I just don't want to let myself get pulled in all these different directions. So my goal will be to focus. And then my third goal is not going to be a surprise, but it is to make more challenge type fun videos while I'm doing revision. I've been making a list of a lot of the challenges I've seen other people do that I think would be really fun. I've also really enjoyed watching people do videos where they mimic a workday of a professional published author. So take someone like Dan Brown or Neil Gaiman and follow what they've been said to have as their like daily writing routine and just trying stuff out. I think I'm just gonna stick to 3 simple goals. So finish my revision by August, focus on 2 to 4 aspects of my story, each revision round at a time, and make some really fun videos. All the ones that I didn't get to do during the rough draft, do those in the revision. And I'm curious if you guys are writing your own stories. Do you have any goals you've made for your current draft or even for 2025? I'd be interested to hear. Yeah, thanks for watching. And there's nothing to do now but to get working and start hitting off all of my goals.